Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today. You see, society got this thing twisted. They think if a woman lives alone, ain't got no man in the house, then something must be wrong. She must be lonely. She must be sad. She must be desperate. You know, one thing I hear all the time, especially from folks who don't understand a woman's worth, is this idea that if a woman lives alone, doesn't have a boyfriend, ain't got no man coming around, then something must be wrong with her. Like she must be lonely. Like she's sitting by the window every night crying into a pillow, wondering when her prince gonna come knocking on the door. Man, please, let me tell you something. There's a big difference between being alone and being lonely. A woman who lives alone by choice, without a man in her bed, without somebody blowing up her phone, without dealing with some half-committed nonsense, is not weak. She ain't broken. She ain't pitiful. She's strong. She's smart. She's focused. You know how strong you got to be to get up every morning, pay your bills, take care of your business, cook your own dinner, walk in your house and not need a single soul to validate your day. You know the confidence it takes to sit with yourself, by yourself, and still feel complete? That ain't weakness, baby. That's power. See, some women are alone because they won't settle, because they've been through the storm, they've seen the mess, and they made up their mind they're not going through that again just to say they got somebody. Some of y'all know what I mean. You done had a man sleeping next to you and still felt more alone than when the bed was empty. So now you're saying, if I'm going to be alone, I might as well be happy about it. That woman who comes home to a quiet house, lights a candle, pours a glass of wine, puts on her playlist, she's not lonely. She's not wishing she had a man stressing her out, throwing off her energy. She's reclaiming her space. She's building herself. She's learning how to love her own company. And let me say this, not everybody is built for solitude. A lot of folks can't sit with themselves. They need noise, attention, validation, somebody always around. But a woman who can live alone without feeling less than, who can wake up in the morning without needing "good morning, beautiful" from somebody inconsistent, that woman is a warrior. Now, don't get me wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting companionship. We're human. We want love, connection, partnership. But needing it to feel worthy, that's where the trap is. You should never need another person to feel like you matter. And a woman who lives alone, who chooses her peace over confusion, who doesn't go out looking for somebody just to fill space, that's a woman who knows exactly what she brings to the table. She ain't waiting on no rescue. She's her own rescue. She ain't sitting around trying to be chosen. She chooses herself every day. You know what else? A woman who lives alone is dangerous in the best way. Because once you know you can survive on your own, once you realize you don't need somebody to split the rent or lift your spirits or cook your dinner, then love becomes a choice, not a need. And that's the healthiest kind of love. That's the kind of love where you show up whole and say, I'm good already. But if we're going to do this, let's build something real. See, the world tells women they need a man to feel secure. But let me flip that for you. A woman who doesn't need a man is the most secure woman there is. She ain't falling for just any smile and a smooth talk. She got questions. She got standards. She got peace. And she's not giving that up for a warm body. People look at a woman who's single and say, why is she still alone? But real ones know the truth. She's not still alone. She's intentionally alone. There's a difference between being overlooked and being unavailable. And trust me, She's unavailable to nonsense, to drama, to part-time love. That ain't loneliness. That's discernment. So when you see a woman who lives alone, don't you dare assume she's incomplete. Don't you dare feel sorry for her. She's not lacking, she's living. She's just fine, probably better than fine. She's discovering what she loves, who she is, and what she'll never settle for again. She's not waiting for happiness to show up in the form of a man. She is the happiness. She is the home. She is the peace. And anybody who wants to be in her life better come correct, because she already proved she can stand tall on her own. Let me tell you something. I want you to hear this loud and clear. Peace is priceless. Peace is better than partnership. I'm talking about that real deep, no drama, rest your soul kind of peace. And any relationship that costs you your peace is way too expensive. See, people out here get in relationships for the wrong reasons. They get with somebody because they're tired of being alone, because they feel pressure, because society told them you should be married by now, you should have somebody by your side. So they go out, pick whoever's available, not who's right. And what did they end up with? Chaos, confusion, constant stress. And you sitting there wondering why your soul feels tired every day. I'm here to tell you, there is nothing lonelier than being with the wrong person. You think it's hard being alone? Try coming home to somebody who don't respect you. Try loving somebody who keeps taking advantage of your kindness. Try arguing every week, fighting to be seen, begging for consistency, and then ask yourself, is that partnership worth your peace? Nah, it's not. You got to protect your peace like it's your most valuable possession, because guess what? It is. Peace is what lets you sleep at night. Peace is what lets you smile when there's nobody around. Peace is when your mind is calm, your spirit is settled, and your heart ain't battling every day just to stay whole. And a woman who lives alone without a boyfriend and who's single by choice, most of the time she ain't missing love. She's enjoying her peace. She's been through enough to know that a man bringing stress, lies, insecurity, and inconsistency ain't no blessing. He's a storm. And when you've worked hard to build peace in your life, you don't let just anybody walk in and start rearranging your furniture. Some folks chase partnership like it's a cure. If I could just get in a relationship, I'd be happy. Let me help you with that. No, you won't. Not if that person disrupts your peace. Happiness ain't found in another person. It's found in your own wholeness. If someone enters your life and throws your balance off, they're not a partner. They're a problem. And ladies, listen, having a man in your life should be like adding seasoning to an already good meal. He enhances, not overwhelms. He supports, not controls. If his presence makes you more anxious than calm, more confused than clear, then he's not your person. That's just somebody taking up space that peace used to live in. I've seen women try to fix men, try to carry the weight of broken relationships on their back, just to keep the title of girlfriend or wife. Meanwhile, they losing themselves, they're walking on eggshells in their own home. And for what? So you don't have to say you're single? That ain't a relationship. That's a spiritual eviction. You kicked your own peace out the door to make room for chaos. Let me ask you something. If peace walked out and drama walked in, why would you stay? If you can't be yourself around somebody, can't breathe, can't rest, can't grow, why would you keep calling that love? That ain't love, that's a trap. And you're better than that. Now don't get it twisted. I believe in love, I believe in real partnership. But the kind of love that's worth having won't mess with your mind. It won't make you feel small. It won't leave you questioning yourself every other day. Real love feels safe. It feels calm. It feels like home. And if it don't feel like that, then baby, it's not for you. A peaceful life is not boring. It's not empty. It's rich. It's beautiful. It's full of moments where you can actually hear your own thoughts. You can look in the mirror and like the person you see. You can walk in your house and exhale, not brace yourself for the next argument. So when a woman chooses peace over partnership, she's not giving up. She's leveling up. She's saying, I don't need someone just to say I have someone. I need someone who doesn't come in here disrupting what I built. That's not being picky. That's called discernment. And it saves lives, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So let them talk. Let them say you're too independent, too strong, too picky, too whatever. What you are is too wise to trade peace for pain. You've been there, done that. Now you've learned. Peace is the priority. Everything else is optional. Let me break something down real simple today. Being selective is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's not a flaw. It's a gift. It's not you being too picky. It's you knowing your value. And in a world that wants you to settle, to shrink, to accept anything just to say you got somebody, being selective is power. See, there's a lot of pressure out here on women to get in a relationship fast, like love some kind of race. People out here rushing into situationships with folks they barely know just because they're tired of being alone or they're worried about what their family gonna say at the next holiday dinner. Girl, when you gonna bring somebody home as if your entire worth is based on whether or not you got a man? But let me tell you something real. A woman who's single by choice, who turns down offers, who ain't saying yes to every smooth talker who slides in her DMs, that woman is not stuck up. She's not bitter. She's not cold. She's smart. She's careful. She's selective. And that's power, baby. You ever walk into a high-end store? Ain't no discount signs hanging up. Ain't no clearance rack. Why? Because quality don't beg to be chosen. Quality don't chase you down. It knows its value. It knows what it brings. And if you can't afford it, it's okay. Just keep walking. That's how a woman of value carries herself. She knows what she brings to the table, her peace, her ambition, her softness, her hustle, her mind, her love. And she's not going to let just anybody sit at that table. You got to earn that seat. You got to come correct. You got to be ready to match her energy, not drain it. And I get it. Sometimes people try to make you feel guilty for not saying yes. Like you're supposed to give somebody a chance just because they like you. But what about whether you like them? What about whether they're even qualified to stand next to you? Some people look good, sound good, feel good for a minute, but when you dig a little deeper, you find out they're not consistent, not intentional, not ready. So what do? You move on. Not because you're hard to please, but because you refuse to be played. Selective women get called too much all the time, too confident, too independent, too high standards. Let me tell you something. You're not too much, they're just not enough. Don't ever lower your standards just to make somebody else feel comfortable. If they can't meet you where you are, they're not meant for you. You ever notice how the world tells men to be ambitious, to chase success, to have standards? But when a woman does the same thing in love, suddenly she's difficult. Nah, that double standard gotta go. If a man is allowed to choose wisely, so is a woman. You're not obligated to entertain somebody just because they showed up. Showing up ain't enough. How they move, how they treat you, how they make you feel when the spotlight ain't on, that's what matters. And let me tell you what happens when you stop settling. You get peace. You get clarity. You start attracting different energy because now you've raised the bar. And people who want to be in your life got to rise to meet it. You're not stuck in toxic cycles anymore. You're not crying yourself to sleep over someone who never deserves you. You're not begging for text backs, for honesty, for effort. You're walking in dignity, in confidence, in power. People love to act like singleness is some kind of punishment. No, singleness is preparation. It's the season where you build yourself so solid that nobody can tear you down. It's where you learn what you like, what you need, what you'll never put up with again. That time alone, that's where your standards come from. That's where your discernment grows. So when someone finally comes along, you're not deciding from desperation. You're deciding from wisdom. You're not asking, does he like me? You're asking, do I feel safe here? Do I feel seen here? Does this man add to my life or complicate it? That's the power of being selective. You get to choose from a place of strength, not fear. And you no longer see rejection as loss. You see it as redirection. You know what's meant for you won't require you to shrink, to tolerate disrespect, or to settle. So, yeah, some people won't get it. They'll say you're too hard to please. They'll say your standards are too high. But don't let them talk you out of your peace, out of your worth. The right one will not only meet your standards, he'll appreciate that you had them. He'll respect you more, not less, because you didn't let just anybody in. Being selective ain't about being perfect. It's about protecting your energy, protecting your future, protecting your heart. And if that means saying no to 9 so you can say yes to the right one, then baby, say no with confidence every single time. Let me say something that I think more people need to hear. You are not half a person waiting for somebody to come along and make you whole. You are not some puzzle piece missing its match. You're already complete, already enough, already valuable just as you are. And if nobody told you that today, I'm telling you now. See, we've been sold a lie. The movies, the books, the songs, they all talk about you complete me, like love is some rescue mission. Like you ain't really somebody until somebody else shows up and fills in the gaps. That's beautiful for TV, but in real life, if you walk around thinking you're not whole until somebody chooses you, you're going to spend your whole life waiting on validation that should start inside you. A woman who lives alone without a boyfriend already understands this. She knows she's not sitting around waiting for someone to bring her purpose, to bring her joy, to bring her identity. She already got that on lock. She already built her peace, her rhythm, her goals, her life. And if someone comes along, that person better add to it, not be the reason it exists. You gotta be your own foundation before you ever let anybody build with you. Because if you go into something thinking he's gonna make me happy or he's gonna fix me, then baby, you already lost. That's not love, that's dependency. That's handing over the power to someone else and hoping they don't misuse it. Let me tell you something. Being complete is not about perfection. You're still growing, still learning, still healing. But that doesn't mean you're lacking. You can be a work in progress and still know you are whole. That's the truth strong women live by. They're not waiting for a man to give them an identity. They know who they are before he ever walks through the door. When you know you're complete, your relationships change. You're not out here trying to get love, you're sharing love. There's a difference. You're not begging to be seen. You're already standing in your worth. You're not bending over backwards trying to be chosen because you already chose yourself. And when you operate from that place, you attract different energy. You start seeing clearly who's for you and who's just there to take advantage of your shine. See, when you don't know you're whole, you'll settle for anybody who gives you attention. You'll tolerate things you have no business putting up with. You'll start thinking that at least he's here is better than I'm at peace. But when you do know you're complete, you don't chase validation. You don't beg for clarity. You don't hand out second chances like candy. You walk with your head high, knowing if you walk away, I'll be fine. I was fine before you came, and I'll be fine if you leave. Now let me talk to the women who are alone right now, living by themselves, taking care of themselves, waking up every day with no one next to them. That doesn't mean you're unfinished. It doesn't mean something's missing. You are not in some waiting room for your life to start. This is your life right here, right now. And it's yours to fill with joy, with purpose, with love. Love that starts with you. A relationship shouldn't be your starting point. It should be a bonus, like icing on a cake. You don't eat icing by itself. The cake got to be solid first. You are the cake. A man is the extra. But the problem is too many people trying to live on icing and wondering why they're still hungry. You got to learn how to be your own best friend, how to take yourself out, how to sit in silence and not feel empty, how to celebrate yourself, how to clap for yourself. That's not selfish. That's necessary, because when you learn to love your own company, you stop fearing being alone. And when you stop fearing being alone, you stop tolerating halfway love, just so you don't feel lonely. Let me put it like this. When you walk in completeness, you raise the standard. Now, a man can't just look good and say the right things. He has to match your energy. He has to respect your space. He has to bring peace, not problems. Because you're no longer looking for a savior, you're looking for a partner. And there's a big difference. So no, you don't need someone to complete you. You are not a missing piece. You are not a love story that hasn't started yet. You are already the whole book. And anyone who enters your life better be ready to read the chapters you wrote, not rewrite them. Don't let the world convince you that you're behind just because you're alone. You're not behind, you're becoming. You're healing, you're growing. And most importantly, you're living from a place of fullness, a place where the love you give isn't coming from lack, but from abundance. So if someone walks into your life, it's not because you need them to make you whole. It's because your completeness made space for someone who truly fits, not fixes.